Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope you all had a great day today. And I hope you know that Mr. T is going to be having a big press conference tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, concerning what? Federal takeover of D.C. is what it sounds like to me. So we're going to talk about that, plus cleaning out the three-letter agencies. What is going on? What do I always do? I'll play some videos while people come into the chats. Get yourself a cup of coffee or a beverage of your choice and settle in, and we'll get like butter and be on a roll.
Possible ones is a man named Russell Vought. He is someone who is a self-described Christian nationalist who has been around Washington for a long time. He's seen how government works. And he has an idea of really kind of radical changes he wants to implement. And he's someone who knows how to do it.
My belief is that the president has to move executively as fast and as aggressively as possible with a radical constitutional perspective to be able to dismantle that bureaucracy in their power centers.
Before the election, Vought laid out his vision in a chapter he wrote for the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, a blueprint for Trump's return.
The great challenge confronting a conservative president is the existential need for aggressive use of the vast powers of the executive branch.
He told us quite explicitly he wants to search out for pockets of independence from presidential control and stamp them out. He's made no secret of the fact that he wants to wrest for the presidency more power over spending decisions away from Congress.
Trump and people around him understand what we have to do to get back to a constitutional republic. We're going after the infrastructure and the plumbing and the wiring of the whole system. We are not going to quit. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to take our foot off the gas pedal.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you...
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
Good evening, folks. How is everyone tonight? I appreciate you all joining me. Hi, Sissy. Nice to see you. Linda Marie, Lucky, Darla, Kathy, Robin, Rain, Colette, Elva, Melinda. Debbie's here. Thank you, Wayne, for going by. Buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it. And Miss Mendersue, how are you doing? Justin, nice to see you. Bill's here. Shine, nice to see you. Well, let me see. I got a screensaver for you all to put on your computer. Here you go. I don't know if you can get a clip using X recorder or something like that. Let me see. There you go. How do you like that? Does my voice work over top while it's playing, or does it break up? Let me know in the chats if my voice breaks up or not. Sometimes it does when videos play. But Mr. T's having a press conference tomorrow. Let me get my regular thumbnail. I got to go out of the studio to get that. Yeah, we got a crackdown coming. We got a crackdown. There we go. There we are. That's how I made my thumbnail. So when you all start doing your videos, if poor old mountain man gets waylaid, you can, one falls, another rises. Hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Rain says it works good. I got 5x5s for Miss Mendersue and Elva. Great. Wonderful. So anyway, yeah. Trump's going to have a press conference. Did you all watch Penguin 6? He said Obama's been swatted and had a picture of a vehicle. I guess an armored personnel carrier or something like that. And I said, oh boy, let me watch it. And it turned out that the DC police were like, yeah, we know it's a prank. We're in contact with the Secret Service. We're not. But what's Obama doing with the House in DC? Talk about breaking protocol. All these demon rats holler about, hey, you're supposed to only redistrict like tradition, like we've been doing. And then now you're breaking tradition. Well, Obama's been breaking it. Ever since he left office, he set up a shadow government. And, no point in trying to mince words to defeat the algo and then rhythm because they stifle me. Anyway, that's why I never get any opposing voices in here. They just put the suggestions up to people that subscribe, and maybe a few people spot it, my videos. But other than that, it's banned as in shadow. But that's okay. That's okay. We got it down for posterity. Sparky, how you doing? Mark. I don't know, Rain, which was it probably the Iranian embassy, if you ask me. So it turned out, according to Penguin 6, to be a big nothing. But also at the same time, he was talking about going to the press conference, and he kept saying it's going to be wild, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be, oh my gosh. With Trump's announcement of what's he going to do with D.C. Graybeard, how you doing? He said hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I really do. But anyway, here's what Trump put out. On Monday, a press conference will be held at the White House, which will essentially stop violent crime in Washington, D.C. It has become one of the most dangerous cities anywhere in the world. And it will soon be one of the safest. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President DJT. And there's been a lot of people, likening this to the storm arriving in a very famous 17th post. And here's another post that Donald Trump put up, and there he is. I'm showing you, there's his name up there. Last week in Aberdeen, Scotland. Is this a little... Why would he post this the same day he posts it, announcing the what he's going to do with D.C., the press conference coming up? I don't know. I'll go ahead and play it. You tell me what you think. Is he trying to tell us something? I'll tell you what I think he's trying to tell us after I play it.
On to the T, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Yay.
What do you think he's trying to say? Why would he post that? Something from last week on the same day he puts up this post. What do y'all think? That's right, Graybeard. I hope it's more than just the street gangs, too. I believe that's what it's going to be. That's what we're all hoping. Hi, Bambi. How you doing? Jason, nice to see you. Ha ha ha. Yeah, nothing wrong with lurking. Nothing wrong with lurking. I say hi to all my lurkers. I lurk. I go out and lurk. This is another thing President Trump put up. Boy, it feels good saying President Trump. There he is. MAGA listed. New York Stock Exchange. The Great American Mortgage Corporation. New York Stock Exchange. He made that announcement about veterans being protected from getting jammed up in mortgage. He said, if you're a little bit back, don't worry about it. And he signed it. And he said, if you're a lot back, don't worry about it. We got you taken care of. So it is really a riot to watch these Democrat narratives crumble and watch them fumble. Creeps like James Carville having to come out with an apology to Melania. But they're still plugging forward like lunatics. Let's see what else he put up today. I am pleased to announce that I'm nominating Tammy Bruce, a great patriot, television personality, and best-selling author, as our next deputy representative of the United States to the United Nations, with the rank of ambassador. Since the beginning of my second term, Tammy has been serving with distinction as spokesperson of the State Department. I played a couple of videos where she was talking about stuff where she did a fantastic job. Tammy Bruce will represent our country brilliantly at the United Nations. Congratulations, Tammy. Well, that seems innocuous enough. I'm seeing what anybody thinks about why he posted that. I don't see any guesses. Melinda. I did see a guess. He's teeing off. He's getting ready to tee off. That's exactly what I was thinking, Melinda. You get a Cupid doll. Did you ever hear that when you went to the fair? You get a Cupid doll. I'll put some hearts on the screen. I got the special effects, but everything's so slow. When I hit the button, I got to wait forever for it to upload. And then boop, there you go. Boop. You got it. Reading my mind. I might have to sneeze. I got to hit the sneeze button. Anyway, let's see. What else did he put up? Wow. He's getting ready to tee off in D.C. Oh. Same day. Same day he's teeing off. Same day he's going to have a big meeting, a big press conference. Crooked Nancy Pelosi and her very, quote, interesting husband beat Ever hedge fund instead of Every. In other words, these two average, quote, minds beat all of the super geniuses on Wall Street, thousands of them. It's all inside information. Is anybody looking into this? She's a disgusting degenerate who impeached me twice on no grounds and lost. How are you feeling now, Nancy? Isn't that something, Nancy? How are you feeling now? And we saw, we have trans flags out there hanging outside our offices, and we're going to work for trans kids nationwide. Yeah, okay. Have fun, Nancy. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people are liking it to a post from the 17th letter that if he's going to do a crackdown, it's going to be not just on D.C. gangs, little nose-picking Northwest, Southeast, or whatever they call themselves, running around causing trouble. They're a piece of cake. Anyway, somebody put this up. The PBS is broke. The DNC is broke. USAID got defunded. Planned Parenthood is broke. CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, the New York Times, and the Washington Post are all laying people off. This is what I voted for. Yeah, we go up in our mental airplanes to 40,000 foot and look down. And it ain't good for the Dems. It ain't good. They're being decimated at every point. And that is not possible without a lot of very smart people who have mapped out their MO. Remember, I talked about that a long time ago. Method of operations. This corrupt organization. Racketeering influenced, corrupt organization. What is their MOs? How do they get their money? How do they operate? And you find that out and you just rip it up, branch and root. And that's what's happening right now. Here's another post. I don't know about this one. He put this one up. And I've seen this video like a year ago, maybe 6 months. So I this is Donald Trump posted this. So tell me what you think. I don't know. Let's see. Get some ideas. Why would Trump post this video?
We're fishing and then hooking it on the boat ramp. I love the water and do some pretty out there stuff. My dad thought I'd never come back from there. He definitely thought I'd be eaten.
I don't know. Maybe he saw it and thought it was interesting. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. I don't know. What do you all think? Is it like the equivalent of having a tiger by the tail? Or, I don't know. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? MS, how you doing? So, I don't know what it means. But I remember seeing that video. It might have been 6 months ago. So, anyway, here's the post. People are likening this DC takeover. Remember this, folks? Early in the 17th letters operation. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Boy, that's an ominous term. When it's necessary to have a special operator. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the Emergency Broadcast System, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news to all citizens, organizations, and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. So, yeah. That was put up, as they say in New York, not for nothing. So, we might not be at that point. We might not be at that point. And these hints and these moves could very well be being done to get people to make a move, to chatter, to flinch. A lot of other reasons. Hi, Yvonne, how you doing? Nice to see you. Kathy said, not going anywhere. Who's that? Who's not going anywhere? You gonna stay with us, Kathy? That's good. Anyway, so we'll go over this stuff. The mainstream narrative. Let's see. Here you go. Here's a special on Midas Trash Network, and they pick a picture of Trump yelling. They didn't orange him up this time. I don't know why they didn't orange. Breaking legal news. They won awards, and they're doing the best on Spotify. Trump's corrupt DOJ is running political hit jobs, covering up Epstein, and losing in court on birthright citizenship. Catch up on these legal stories. Yeah. What group of judges would go against Trump on birthright citizenship? They're the type of judges we don't need to have in these positions. Where is it? I got a thing on, I think it was from ABC, bragging about the courts doing a backflip on Trump. Let me see, is this it? Let's see. Yeah. Biden-approved judge blocks Trump's birthright citizenship order. Court clash. The judge's ruling says President Donald J. Trump's push to end birthright citizenship likely violates the Constitution. Well, these idiots don't understand the Constitution. They haven't read it. That goes for Midas Trash Pail Network, too. Midas Trash Pail Network. But I tell you what, over in, I think this was over in the UK, they've got some pushback going on with these mouthy migrants. This is, I mean, they're on a street corner and they've got some signs up like, vote and stand for your country and, stuff like that. And this migrant guy takes offense to it and gets himself in a little pickle. I'll go ahead and play it. He's mouthy.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Not speaking for me like this.
What the fuck is your
What
problem?
happened? What's your issue? Yo, no good like this. What happened? Not speaking for me. Yeah, what? Guys. What's going on? Who's fucking sorry, mate? Put blood all over us. Mate, get the fuck. Why speaking like this for me? I didn't say anything. Guys, not speaking for me like this. Dude. I don't know who you are, mate. Dude. Get the fuck. Why do you for me like this? Dude, he's not speaking for me like this. Guys, that's not speaking for me like this. Dude, fuck you, bitch. Don't make me fuck you up. Guys. I'll put you down again. Don't like this for me. What do you mean don't be like this? Dude, guys.
What is your problem?
Get the fuck away. Get the fuck off.
What is your problem?
Why are you playing for me like this? Fuck off right now, bro. Fuck off right now, bro. Just walk away. Fuck you like this. Just walk away.
They threw it in our face, mate.
Fuck off, bro. Who the fuck did you Dude, what the fuck? Dude, stop! Dude, get the fuck off of him! Get the fuck off of him! Now! Dude, get off!
He tried to grab
Guys.
He tried to grab his bag. That's his bag.
Get the fuck out of
Hey, I got this all on video. I got this all on video. Your face is all over this fucking video. Please, him. Holy shit.
What are you doing, mate? What are you doing, mate? This guy's fucking... Get out of here, mate. Huh? Huh? Mate, get
I didn't know they had they upgraded to tasers from just billy clubs or whatever they carried. So that dropped him pretty quick, but I enjoy watching that. I'm going to watch that later. It's part of my relaxation videos. I'm getting a collection together of relaxation videos. Sandman, how you doing? Yeah, dropped him. I'll do a mountain man relaxation videos. Nuremberg X3 executions and crackdowns on ruffians, stuff like that. Just, to get your mind right. Here's a brain surgeon right here. Here's a brain surgeon. Remember I said that there needs to be, and there probably is, a group of people going through people's social media, and I was referring mostly to government service and the military. That anybody who's in government service and the military should have their social media reviewed. And, these whack jobs need to get thrown the hell out of government and the military. Well, here's one right here, real brilliant. He's got a plan how to do a counterinsurgency against ICE.
I applied to be an ICE agent, and I think you should too. I think the idea of us being saboteurs is one of the best ways we can resist. Like, honestly, apply. Just clog the system. Go interview. Like, even if you get the job, if you have the ability to actually take the job, like, you can sabotage from within. Like, we have the ability to actually become the deep state, and I think all of us should do it as much as we can. Let's become the deep state.
Yeah, he's going to encourage people to fraudulently apply for a job and then work against ICE from the inside. That's real brilliant. Why don't you do it, buddy? And they can play that video when they prosecute you. That'd be great. Hi, David. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, Colette, that's what I call them. Relaxation videos. Some might be a little gruesome, but not to me. Anyway, how many different fronts are we working on? Look at this garbage. Right here. It was now this impact. I was talking to you about that, how they popped up out of the ground, and then all of a sudden they get all these thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, and all they do is pump this kind of crap out all day long. It was never about deporting violent criminals. It was always about white supremacy. And I could not say those two words in tandem in the past, or my video would be in jeopardy. But they can type it right out there. Talking about our government officials are white supremacists. Homeland Security, serve your country, defend your culture, no undergraduate degrees required. It was never about deporting dangerous criminals or creating legal pathways for people seeking a better life. Their language makes it even more explicit that immigration under the Trump administration is about protecting a specific cultural identity. Yeah, you nitwit. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the Constitution, you dim-wits. And then they had another section of it come up. Yeah, the masked mystery people. DHS urges people to join ICE to defend your culture. They aren't even trying to hide Ooh, I eat supremacy, high flannel cheese. How you doing? Yeah, so they are scraping the bottom of the barrel for their incitement. Their incitement. Meanwhile, Trump's making peace all over the place. He's making peace break out all over the world. Let's see. What? Let me see this. This is another DJT here. DJT, what's he got going on? This is great news. Donald Trump says House Oversight wants to gather evidence that could overturn Biden's pardons, executive orders. Chairman Comer says the evidence his probe has uncovered could lead to questions about the validity of Joe Biden's pardons and executive orders. I think that's kind of a tough hill to climb. Where's that video? I got a video of him talking on, I think it's Maria Bartiromo. Where are you at, dude? Here it is. Yeah, it's Maria. There she is. Hi, Maria. She's been working overtime, man. She had an interview with J.D. Vance. I got a small clip of that. I could have got a good chunk of it, but there's only so much time. But here's Comer talking about a range of stuff like Epsteinio, right? Epstein files, I'll put it that way. Plus Biden's incompetence and people covering it up. Here we go.
Applauding the House Oversight Committee subpoenas to former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, along with 8 others. The Oversight Committee also continuing its investigation into Joe Biden's mental fitness and the use of the auto pen during Biden's presidency. Former Biden senior advisor Anita Dunn testified last Thursday, telling the committee that Biden's inner circle came to the conclusion that he should not take a cognitive test, even though she said they all felt that, he would pass one easily. Earlier in the week, former Biden Deputy Chief of Staff Bruce Reed told the committee ex-White House doctor Kevin O'Connor dismissed cognitive tests as, quote, meaningless. Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Kentucky Congressman James Comer. Mr. Chairman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Maria.
I want to first talk about these subpoenas to Hillary and Bill Clinton. When are you expecting them to come in to testify under oath?
We've asked them to come in October. We've given them specific dates. What makes these subpoenas special and historical is that they came as a result of a bipartisan.
The Democrats made a motion like we knew they would to subpoena the Epstein.
Can you say Red October?
Republican support. Scott Perry from Pennsylvania.
Can you say Red October? I can't get my speaker to work right. I said, can you say Red October? Anyway, but he's pointing out it was a bipartisan vote. And he'll mention it again because that gives him a lot more strength in the court in case Bill Clinton tries to wiggle out of it.
For both Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as 6 former attorneys generals, and the Democrats voted for it. Now they're scared and trying to say they didn't vote for it, but they did. It's on record, and that helps us in court. If the Clintons try to fight this subpoena, which we presume they will, this subpoena came as a result of a bipartisan vote, which has never happened before in the House Oversight Committee. So we're looking forward to hearing from the Clintons. The American people want to know what went on Epstein Island. We know Clinton went there many times. We just want to ask Bill Clinton what he saw when he was there and who all was involved.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of information to be gained from an interview under oath with Hillary and Bill Clinton, that's for sure. Would you also get into Russia collusion?
Well, we would like to ask about that. I'm sure their lawyers are going to be negotiating the terms. The subpoena was a few days before the Russia collusion story really broke. But certainly we're going to ask as many questions as we can ask. This is an opportunity to get the Clintons under oath, which people have been trying to do for a long time. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, and we'll get answers to a lot of questions that the American people have.
So you say that they're going to be fighting this. You think this is going to go through the courts?
I would be shocked if it did not go to the courts. But again, one thing that stands out is this bipartisan vote. We've never had that. I've been chairman of the House Oversight Committee for a year and a half, Maria, and I've never lost a subpoena battle. This is the toughest battle that we're going to face is getting the Clintons in here. But again, that bipartisan vote, and I want to thank the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee for voting for that subpoena.
Well, I mean, look, another tough battle that you've got in front of you is getting to the bottom of President Biden's 4 years in office. And what was going on there? I mean, it was all very simple and clear for everyone to see that he was, struggling in terms of his mental capacity and this use of the auto pen. Who was running the country for the last 4 years before President Trump?
Well, it looks like a very small inner circle of no-name unelected bureaucrats. They had a tight.
He wasn't struggling. Remember, he did the toddler squat.
Allow a lot of cabinet secretaries like people
to have access to Joe Biden. They certainly didn't allow the White House press corps to have access to Joe Biden. When he did come out, he was very scripted. And what we've learned is that even when the American people realized after the Hur report and after the disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump that Joe Biden was in mental decline, his staff, we learned from Anita Dunn this week, made the decision not to give Joe Biden a cognitive test. Even when the American people were demanding a cognitive test, they made the decision, the ones who were running the country, that they were not going to give Joe Biden a cognitive test. And I think that is pretty overwhelming evidence that they feared what the results of that test would be.
So what do you think you will find out about who was running the country? I mean, after the Robert Hur interview was released, just a day or so later, we learned that Joe Biden had prostate cancer. But, I've got the Kevin O'Connor medical report in front of me right now. There's no mention of any mental decline. There's no mention of any prostate cancer. Why suddenly do we learn this after the Robert Hur tapes were released?
Well, we've watched the Hur tapes, and they're a disaster. You understand watching the tapes why Robert Hur wrote that. I mean, that was scary. If Americans could watch that tape, and hopefully we can make that public, they would be concerned that this guy was president of the United States, had control of the nuclear football. But at the end of the day, with Dr. O'Connor, we deposed him. We brought him in for a deposition. He pled the fifth. We asked Dr. O'Connor, were you ever told to lie about Joe Biden's health? He couldn't answer that question. He pled the fifth to avoid self-incrimination. What we found about Dr. O'Connor is he declined doing a cognitive test. He supposedly said a cognitive test was not important, even though every president in my lifetime has taken cognitive tests. And we also believe that he supposedly did not check the president for prostate cancer. Every man over 50, including myself, I'm 52, takes a PSA test every time they get blood work done. So the story doesn't add up with respect to Dr. Connor. It reeks of a political cover-up, a cover-up of a president in declining health.
So do you think that this was an all-out effort by the Democrats to keep their grip on power, even though they knew that the leader in charge, Joe Biden, really did not have the capacity to keep going, and then they actually encouraged him to run for another term?
It looks like it, and that's what's the most shocking about this whole thing. This didn't just happen around the time of the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. This happened, a year prior to that, and yet this small inner circle wanted to keep this man in the Oval Office, even though they knew he couldn't perform the duties of President of the United States for another 4 years. That's what's so disappointing about all of this, and what you see with the last 90 days, that's when I think the auto pen was abused the most, Maria. The last 90 days after Donald Trump wins the election and you're in that lame duck period, they start cranking stuff through that auto pen like crazy. Pardons, thousands of pardons, and executive orders whose sole purpose of these executive orders was to Trump-proof the Trump administration, to make it harder to get federal employees to come back to work, to make it harder to eliminate agencies like the Department of Education. So that's why this investigation is important. We believe that there's a possibility that a lot of these executive orders and pardons can be declared null and void in a court of law.
So you're saying that those pardons may not be legal or legitimate?
I am saying that, Maria. And if you look at Joe Biden's one interview he's given in post-presidency about the auto pen was with the New York Times, and he admitted to the New York Times that they wouldn't, that they, that he just delegated that to staff.
Unbelievable. All right, we will leave it there.
Yeah, my screen was frozen. I don't know what went wrong. Anyway, thank goodness it unfroze, or I'd been sitting here talking to myself. But anyway, you know, I got something else interesting Mr. T put up today. Well, not Mr. T. U.S. Department of Energy put this up. Anybody that's been paying attention to the 17th letter remembers this picture, right? On our way to unleash American energy dominance. So a lot of little things coming out that would make lunatics worry. I don't know if y'all got any kin people in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or near there. Look what happened today with the flooding. Torrential rains. Let me play this video for y'all.
That's so fun.
But yeah, so it looks like what they're doing is working. I just hope everybody's smart enough to realize that.
Bro, this the street, y'all. You don't even see the street at work. When I
So yeah, it looks pretty bad. You know, but thank goodness that no reports of houses getting swept away or, you know, kids disappearing or anything horrible like that. Keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to point out this. The FBI. They fired 2 more top people at the FBI. And I got this notification about top stories on my phone today. And I said, well, they're talking about this guy, Brian Driscoll, and there's one other guy with the FBI. One story said, where'd it go? They said he was fired right after his wife died. You know, and that's a shame. You know, you don't want anybody's wife passing away, but his story here, let's see. I don't see the news article. I might not got a screenshot of it, but one of the videos was like, how dare they fire him right after his wife dies? But he's been with the FBI. He was in charge of the J6 investigations. Former acting FBI director involved in January 6th investigation fired. And he served as acting director from the beginning of Trump's term. That's because Christopher Wray resigned. And this guy, steps up as acting. So the news puts it out there that he got promoted by Trump. So why would they fire him right when his wife dies? Well, that's not the story. That's not true. It says here, he was acting director from January 20th when Christopher Wray stepped down while Trump was getting sworn in. He got automatically put in as acting director till February 21st. 31 days. And he didn't get fired till 3 days ago? Doesn't sound to me like he got promoted. He was in a temporary position and very quickly, in government speak, got removed. Right here it is, February 21st, 2025. And he went back to whatever he was doing, and now they've checked him out, and he doesn't check out to their satisfaction, and you're out of here. You're fired. Probably being investigated too. Oh, here it is. MAGA shill. This is, who put this up? Yahoo News. Yahoo News calls Kash Patel a MAGA shill. Patel, purged FBI veteran days after wife's death. There it is. No, it was for his actions, his behaviors. And who knows what stuff they could have come across in his emails, his phone conversations. Is he a leaker? Who knows? Did he participate with Nancy in the J6 thing? Did he help destroy evidence? Help the J6 committee destroy evidence? We don't know, but he's gone. Senior agent who helped oversee FBI's response to J6 is fired. So I saw on Fox News report that the FBI's top levels are pretty much cleaned out. But they claim that there's a lot of lower agent, farther down totem pole, rank and file are really upset this guy got fired. Yeah, I bet they're probably popping champagne corks. But he was only about 30 days after Wray resigned. So anyway, here's the push for the news. What they're pushing. Trump already caved to Putin before Ukraine summit. A former CIA official. That's his. Who the hell is he? To publicly disparage Trump's peace efforts and interfere with our foreign policy. Just because he used to work for the CIA? How come you're a former CIA? Did you get the mushroom treatment and then get canned too? Yeah, I believe that's what happened. I don't care who he is either. And MSDNC again. When will tariff reality hit your wallet? An economics professor. Well, it hadn't hit our wallet yet. It ain't going to hit our wallet. The only thing that's going to hit our wallet is more income when they get rid of the IRS and get rid of individual income tax and give us our damn freedom back. But oh no, here's some college egghead trying to get people all stirred up. here's where Trump put a picture up where he made peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There they are, having a good old time. Dan Sguino put this picture up here. I guess is another proof that he's right beside the president. He probably took this picture on his own cell phone. Love and peace, Donald J. Trump. So, you know, speaking about the news, it was reported, this is from Ruski News, two reporters that are pretty well known for Al Jazeera are no longer walking this earth. And Anas al-Sharif, Al Jazeera's most famous journalist in Gaza, a household name for most every Palestinian and a symbol of war journalism, lost his life, I'll put it that way, through an airstrike, Israeli airstrike on a tent near the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza alongside his colleague. So, you know what the intimation is there that's going around is that Israel was targeting them for a hit because of the reporting they've done. And I saw a picture where he was sitting interviewing, I can't think of his name, but he's the guy that I showed the video of him in Gaza, and he ended up throwing a stick at a drone and got blown smithereens. A Hamas chief whose wife had Gucci bags, you know, down in the tunnels. But anyway, he was pretty buddy-buddy with some people there, top Hamas people. So I don't know. I'm not saying nothing. But then we get this comes out. I'm reading it, and I said, you know, I wonder if I ought to get screenshots of this. But you see America first, Europe for Europeans. You see all this kind of talk. You see down here Zionist backing, George Soros Open Society Foundation. I said, well, what's all this about? It said the great-granddaughter of the Ayatollah who coined the term Great Satan has called on Muslims worldwide to support far-right movements in the U.S. with a picture of Patriot Front. Remember Patriot Front? They would ride around in U-Hauls. And obviously they were deep state plants, FBI operatives. But anyway, what was written there was talking about Zionists trying to bring in non-native migrant or run off non-native migrants, change culture of the U.S. and Europe, all kinds of wow stuff. So, and you're like, why would the granddaughter of Ayatollah Khomeini be pushing for this stuff? Well, a couple of hours later, it came out. Zahra Rahmani Khomeini, senior cultural attaché, proud Iranian, fierce opponent of Israel, great-granddaughter, an article being spread, allegedly written by Imam Khomeini's granddaughter, about needing to work together with the far right is fake. Namely, work with the far right against the Jewish people. Although many Muslims, including Iranians, do in fact agree that strategic alliances with right-wing groups in the West is beneficial, the Twitter account from which it originates is based in the United Kingdom, okay, the UK. That's exactly where the Steele dossier originated from. and likely run by an Indian or Pakistani using an AI profile picture. Imam Khomeini has only one granddaughter named Zahra, who is in her 60s, and she's a liberal feminist. Oh, I'm glad of that. Now I know Khomeini's rolling in his grave. Got a feminist for a daughter. You think she's going along with burqas and face covering? But basically what it was doing was encouraging people to be pro-Hamas, anti-Jewish, and pro-Patriot Front. Very bizarre. And don't forget, Al Jazeera is the organization that Al Gore sold all his stuff to when he was doing the media blitz of the earth has a fever, and he made millions of dollars, and he sold a program to every school in the country, and our tax dollars paid for it, for all our kids to sit and watch his propaganda and his movie, Earth Has a Fever. And then he sold that whole trash kit and caboodle, supposedly to Al Jazeera. They were buying the rights to that stuff. But really what I think it was a payoff. But anyway, just a PSYOP, global warming PSYOP, one of the biggest hoaxes ever in the world. But anyway, here's the old guard trying to tear down Trump. John Bolton, walrus face. He's not giving Trump any credit for nothing. All the peace deals we read off the other day, and a very delicate time when he's supposed to go meet with Zelensky. With Putin and possibly Zelensky at a later date. I don't know.
You've been highly critical, obviously, of Trump's foreign policy generally, and specifically on this case. Does he deserve some credit, though? He's had a string of what seemed to be legitimate foreign policy successes. You had the Azerbaijan-Armenia deal that was announced at the White House. He helped broker the agreement between Congo and Rwanda to stop the fighting there. He also helped to broker the agreement between Cambodia and Thailand. They're talking Nobel Peace Prize. I don't expect you to endorse the Nobel Peace Prize for Trump, but doesn't he deserve some credit for all of this?
Well, I don't think what he has done materially changes the situations in any of those circumstances or several others he's mentioned, like Pakistan, India, where the Indians, not just the government, the entire country, are outraged that he tried to take credit for that. In Thailand, Cambodia, he simply threatened tariffs. If they didn't sign a deal, they've signed a deal. Nothing has changed. And the real kicker in Azerbaijan, Armenia, was the Russians allowing Azerbaijan to take control of Nagorno-Karabakh in the past year. So I think what Trump has done is make it clear that he wants a Nobel Peace Prize more than anything else.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do? He brokered peace between Thailand and Cambodia using tariffs. What does he want them to? What does he want? What does he want to send over bombers, U.S. troops, or sell a bunch of equipment to one side and the other, finance both sides and keep it going? Is that what you want, John Bolton? Of course he uses tariffs, and of course he uses trade deals. It's called a carrot and a stick, you nitwit. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Speaking of the peace deal coming up, Putin is ready for a complete ceasefire if Ukraine withdraws troops from the entire DPR. That's the eastern side of Ukraine. The Wall Street Journal reported, citing European and Ukrainian officials. According to them, the proposal includes 2 stages. In the first stage, Ukraine will withdraw troops from the DPR and the front line will be frozen. After that, the second stage will take place, in which Putin and Trump will agree on a final peace plan, which will later be discussed with Zelensky. Now, Zelensky's come out and said, it's unacceptable. We would give up no land. And Macron, they're all on board with him. No, you can't do that to them. Here he is. Here's Zelensky. Zelensky is likely to be in Alaska during the Trump-Putin meeting on August 15th. CNN reports, citing two sources in the White House. Oh, really? According to them, the participation of the Ukrainian president in some meetings is not excluded. However, one White House official emphasized that any meetings involving Zelensky will most likely take place after the Trump-Putin meeting. So, anonymous sources, you know, what have we had to deal with that for in the past? Just a bunch of hooey, right? U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance made a series of major statements. Trump is moving towards a complete cessation of funding for Ukraine and wants to achieve a peaceful solution on this issue. Americans are tired of spending their taxes on it. The U.S. aims for settlement in Ukraine, taking into account the current line of contact. The negotiations between Putin and Trump are a serious breakthrough for U.S. diplomacy. Donald Trump does not guarantee success in the Ukraine negotiations, but considers it necessary to give them a chance. The U.S. is coordinating the date and time when Putin and Zelensky can meet for talks. Now, that's where I got that little clip of Vance. Let me see where it is. Here he is. Here's JD. And, you know, it's hitting all the right tones. Trump says it's not my war. It's Putin and Biden's war. And at the same time, you got J.D. Vance saying we're sick of paying for it. Europe's got to pick up some of the pace if they want to keep going with it. Oh, bring your checkbook.
What we said to the Europeans is simply, first of all, this is in your neck of the woods. This is in your back door. You guys have got to step up and take a bigger role in this thing. And if you care so much about this conflict, you should be willing to play a more direct and a more substantial way in funding this war yourself. I think the president, and I certainly think that America, we're done with the funding of the Ukraine war business. We want to bring about a peaceful settlement to this thing. We want to stop the killing. But Americans, I think, are sick of continuing to send their money, their tax dollars to this particular conflict. But if the Europeans want to step up and actually buy the weapons from American producers, we're okay with that, but we're not going to fund it ourselves anymore.
What about Israel?
It means you start spending your own damn money. Is what it means. I know you know that, Maria. Sweetheart, I'm not picking on you. Let's see. Oh, I already read that. Okay. What else is this? This is Secretary, let me see, what's that? Secretary of State Rubio accused French President Macron of sabotaging ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas. He stated the negotiations fell apart on the day the French president made the unilateral decision to recognize the Palestinian state. If I were Hamas, I would decide like this. Let's not make a truce because we might be rewarded. We can consider it a victory, Rubio said. According to him, after Macron's statement, other countries joined this position, saying that if a ceasefire is not reached by September, we will recognize a Palestinian state. Yeah, they're throwing a turd in the punch bowl. They're telling Palestine, Hamas, to hold on. Don't get into a peace deal. Then we'll recognize you. Trying to keep the war going. Trying to keep the conflict going. Probably behind that damn phony granddaughter of Khomeini, too. What I just read. The agenda of the summit in Alaska will focus on two main topics: Ukraine and the relations between USA and Russia. For Ukraine, France, the United Kingdom, the EU, and others, an important point is that they do not understand this. The USA and Russia will agree on Ukraine in the sense that the Kremlin's proposals fully satisfy Trump. Whether Ukraine accepts these or rejects these proposals will not affect the course of the summit. This is the opinion of the writer. He's saying Trump's got to be happy, not Zelensky. Ukraine can reject everything, and Trump will be pleased because he already has a feeling that Russia has made concessions specifically to him. These are concessions that concern only Trump. What is he driving at? Or is he just a troublemaker? They do not concern Zelensky. Yes, it's hard for Ukraine sponsors to understand such treachery. Ukraine will never accept anything anyway. But Trump will have an argument in hand as to why it is time for him to make a global deal with Russia. Maybe it'll be about Russia and China disclosing things about the biolabs. Maybe it'll be something along the lines of disclosing things about international money laundering in the Biden crime family and human trafficking and organ sales. I don't know. For this reason, there will be no Ukraine at the summit. It is simply not needed there. The reason why Washington and Moscow will come closer will be announced there, and only then will this joint proposal be voiced. This is why the EU and Zelensky are struggling like fish out of water. They have been spewing nonsense all day long. It will only get worse for them. So, this little blurb didn't say anything that I said about biolabs, human trafficking, or selling organs, international money laundering, all that kind of stuff. But that's the feeling I get from it, that Putin and Trump are going to, I'm hoping, disclose things to the world that are pretty much going to put Ukraine on their back foot and make them come to an agreement to clean out all that corruption that I just talked about. The White House currently does not plan a trilateral meeting between Trump, Putin, and Zelensky. This was reported by Reuters, citing a representative of the U.S. administration. Let me interrupt this for a minute and think about it. If you're the deep state players that have got the heat on you right now, Nancy Pelosi getting called out personally today by Trump, and her nephew by marriage, Gavin Newsom, also involved in Ukraine, energy companies getting money, Romney's son, okay, Biden's son, Hunter, okay, all these people that are involved in that kind of stuff. You've got DC being taken over, possibly occupied by the U.S. military, even if it's the National Guard, it's the U.S. military, and Trump meeting with Putin. And this kind of cryptic talk. I'd be pretty scared if I was the deep state creepos. It is stated that the U.S. president is open to a trilateral meeting with Putin and Zelensky, but for now, the White House is planning a bilateral meeting at Putin's request. The statement came amid demands from Ukraine and Europe to ensure at least Kiev a seat at the table for the upcoming Putin-Trump talks. So we'll see. The future of Ukraine cannot be decided without Ukrainians. That's from Macron. Macron, who told Hamas, basically, don't do a deal with Israel, don't do a peace deal, we'll recognize you. Ukraine and Europe are against Putin's proposal for a ceasefire, as the Russian president wants significant territorial concessions. Wall Street Journal. Not concessions, they've been conquered. They've already been kicked out of those areas. They're going to freeze the front line where it's at. And it's captured territory. Don't expect them to give it back. Zelensky, any decisions against us without Ukraine are simultaneously decisions against peace. They will bring nothing. These are dead decisions. They will never work. Trump's envoy Witkoff misunderstood Putin. I hadn't heard this in the regular media. Have you all? Trump's envoy Witkoff misunderstood Putin. He thought that Russia was going to leave Zaporozhye, I can't pronounce that, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson regions. In fact, Putin said that Ukraine troops should leave from there. I don't know. That's a big misunderstanding. But they're claiming that was a German newspaper, Bild, or however you pronounce it. And now this is over in Azerbaijan and Armenia. And if they can do it, Putin and Zelensky can do it. And what I'm talking about is Pashinyan allowed for the possibility of exchanging territories between Azerbaijan. There are territories, according to this logic, that belong to us, but are under the control of Azerbaijan. And there are territories that belong to Azerbaijan that are under our control. So they're talking about swapping territories or formally keeping them each to their own. So if they can do it, Russia and Ukraine can do it. Armenia and Azerbaijan are now friends. Trump said at a joint briefing. We know they commit permanently to cease all hostilities, open trade, and respect each other's territorial integrity. He also stated that Baku and Yerevan will restore diplomatic relations. Earlier, Trump stated that Armenia and Azerbaijan will sign a peace treaty. We know about that. But John Bolton says, no, he didn't. It's not because of him. Not because of Trump. You know, this is some flippin' powerful psyops the press keeps putting out. But they're changing. They're changing. Oh, here's Trump when he met with, I guess this was the Prime Minister of Azerbaijan. He was showing him around his, I guess, an area of off the Oval Office where he's got memorabilia and stuff. And you'll hear him say, they want me to run for another term. He holds up a Trump 2028 hat, and he tells this Prime Minister, look around, whatever you want, take whatever you want, you can have it.
They love this for your wife.
Oh, yeah.
Scarf. Good
Great.
stuff.
Thank you.
Can you put the key in here, whoever's taking it? That's important to not to lose that.
Yeah.
Do you have your key?
No.
Okay, good. I had this one for you, but I like that box better.
Yeah.
I had that one for you. You know, you're not allowed to run a bit. So, because I'm 28 points higher than anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody wants me to run, but
including us.
You know, it's funny. So this drives me crazy. Look, 4 more years. I go 4 more years. So it's sort of cool. Fellas, come on, grab what you want. That's okay.
Grab what you want. Grab what you want. Anyway, here's an example here's a lady talking about, her name is Melanie Phillips, and Citizen Free Press put this clip up. He said she's got the left figured out. Now, what she's talking about can apply to any divisive psyop. She's talking about Israel and stuff like that. But what she's talking about can go to MAGA people. What drives these people to anchor their psychology into aggression, violence, and to the point where they take a 10-year-old and slap him around, take his MAGA hat, all the craziness you see in the streets right now. She's talking about Israel, but it's every op they put out, how they get these people to anchor themselves where they will not open their eyes up and live like flippin' lunatics.
The Western liberal mind conceives of itself as being good because it's liberal. The Western liberal tells him or herself, I'm a good person because I'm liberal. I'm liberal because I'm a good person, which means that I believe in things like the brotherhood of man, conscience and compassion, looking after the wretched of the world, the poor and the wretched of the world, standing up against abuses of power. These are all good things, and that's why I'm a liberal. And I'm a liberal because of all these good things. So, one of the expressions of my goodness and my liberalism is that I support the Palestinian Arabs who I think are an oppressed people, and they are oppressed by the Israelis who have taken their land away from them and they are oppressing them. Now, every part of that, in my view, is a lie. But put that to one side. This is what the liberal progressive thinks. And the liberal progressive thinks that supporting the Palestinians is therefore something that makes the liberal progressive a good person. October 7 happened, and suddenly you have a situation in which the people that the liberal progressive has supported as being oppressed, and everything they do is a legitimate defense or resistance against oppression, suddenly we can see that those people have turned into the most bloodthirsty savages that could ever be imagined, in which the people that they have supported as being oppressed are good people because they're victims, are these savages. And the people they have represented as oppressors are the victims. They can't have that. Because if they have that, if they admit that that is the case, then their entire worldview is shattered, because the people, the cause they have supported as representing goodness is shown to be evil. And what does that make them? It makes them evil. So they can't have it. So what do? They go to extraordinary lengths to pretend that black is white, that justice is injustice, that oppression is resistance, and vice versa. So they have to represent the Israelis as being at fault. The Israelis are to blame for what's happened. So there is no better way of blaming people than accusing them of the very thing they are the victim of.
Projection.
So you accuse them of genocide. We hear it also regularly. The Israelis are accused of being Nazis. It's the same thing. It's not simply an offensive thing. It's a very deliberate thing, because if the Israelis are Nazis, then we are free. We, the liberal West, are free of any kind of guilt or any kind of association with bad things, because they are to blame. They are the people who are bad. And so we are free to continue with our fantasies of us being good people. And I think that's also what lay behind these amazing scenes that we saw on social media of people with their hands tearing down the posters of the hostages. Now you have to ask yourself, what's going through the mind of someone like that? These weren't posters advertising Israel. They weren't advertising the Israeli Defense Forces. They were pictures of babies, of children, of women who had been kidnapped by bloodthirsty monsters, by savage, depraved savages, and were being almost certainly subjected to untold horrors. And yet they were torn down, and the faces of the people tearing them down were contorted very often with rage and hate. And you have to ask yourself, what's going on in the mind of that person? And it seemed to me that they had to literally, with their fingernails, tear it out of sight. It was something that could not be tolerated to be in existence at all. The very concept of the Israeli babies and children as victims of the people they had been supporting, because it contradicted the narrative on which they had hung their own moral worth. And it seemed to me also they were tearing the Jews out, trying to tear the Jewish people completely out of their world, out of their sight, out of their world, out of their minds, out of their thoughts, and out of their consciences. That's to me what it represented. And this whole inversion of genocide thing is part of that. It is not just disgusting. It is not just ridiculous. It's evil. And I think it is a symptom of the evil paths into which the West has fallen through its embrace of a whole range of ideologies, a whole range of thinking, which I think has come to define what we call the liberal progressive West.
Yeah, it's not only, the Israel thing. It's with immigration. If you bring up how they game the system, like I was talking about, Arbrego Garcia, is his wife on HUD getting stuff for free, and we're all paying for it? How many hundreds of millions of dollars are going for people to game our system, weaken our dollar, cause all this conflict? But basically what she's saying, they get themselves committed, and if they tell the truth to themselves, they have to admit that they're complicit. They're complicit. And on the wrong side. And liberals, they can't ever be wrong. They can't ever admit they're wrong. Here's one thing Citizens Free Press put up. Stressed adults rely on pacifiers to soothe themselves. I feel a sense of safety from childhood. Do you think that's a Republican? You think that's somebody from MAGA? I don't think so. I don't think so. They got a loose screw. What was this clip? Let me see. What's his name? Sarah Silverman? Let's see. Her and somebody having an interview. I don't even remember what it was about.
A lot of people I know are thinking about where they can get citizenship and
I do
stuff.
have Italian. I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I do have that. And what's going on is as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Way worse.
It's so much worse. It's just unbelievable. Like, I feel like it's probably even worse than he would like it to be.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, every once in a while, I'll Google Trump regrets or MAGA regrets just to see all the people that I'm not happy that they're upset and but it makes me hope that maybe this will bring people together.
They're deluding themselves into thinking that things are so bad that MAGA has regrets over Trump. And who the hell is upset at what's going on, stopping this abuse with open borders and all this funding that is being cut off to these radical left groups? We're not upset at all, but they want to go to another. He got citizenship in Italy. Good, get your ass over to Italy and take Sarah Silverman with you. That's my regret that you haven't done that yet. Here's Steve Miller talking about Buttigieg. And I know the real reason. Bill Maher asked him why black people don't support Buttigieg. And I know why they don't. But let this guy tell it.
Democratic primary voters, 16% would support Buttigieg. That's the highest of any candidate. Pete Buttigieg.
I don't believe it. I think that's just a poll number. I can't see that happening.
Well, okay, but wait. 16%. Black voters, 0. 0. You don't usually see 0 anywhere. 0's low.
For who? What is this?
For Buttigieg. Explain that. I mean, why do black voters have this? I mean, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's under-indexing a little bit with black voters, yeah.
A little. What is that all about?
He doesn't move us. I respect the man. I've interviewed him before. Very nice man, highly intelligent. But you gotta be able to move us, bro. He doesn't move us. You can speculate as to why that is. I'm not going there. He doesn't move us.
Yeah, like normal people are not moved by Pete Buttigieg. With his adopting a child and married to another man and pretending like he's breastfeeding and did a horrible job as transportation secretary. Yeah, everybody's going to flock to that guy. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Here's a clip from Fox News alert. What is it about? I don't remember. Let me see. You know, let me see.
Now, as we take a look at the
okay.
with just a couple of
This is talking about. They were talking about. I showed that MSNBC. When are you going to feel the tariffs? It's going to destroy the economy and all this crap. Well, they're wrong, and they keep being proven wrong.
Hours left in trading. The Dow is up 223 points. This says JP Morgan is now forecasting an interest rate cut in September and 4 more by the end of the year. Okay, so markets are taking all of this in. In the meantime, Charles Payne is here to make sense of this. Charles Payne of
because people are looking to make money.
Now, remember, folks, JP Morgan forecasts out of the blue after all the showdowns with this Jerome Powell being smart alecky toward Trump and refusing to drop rates. JP Morgan makes a prediction that they're going to drop it up to 5 times before the end of the year. Where are they getting their information from? But something to remember is JP Morgan is under a lot of heat too from the Justice Department. Don't forget, they were dealing with Epstein on the Virgin Islands, and they were embroiled in possible bribery and money laundering with Virgin Island officials and shady characters tied into Epsteinio, right? Remember?
In this environment, and it seems, even when we ran our very unscientific poll on our show Twitter account, what is most concerning to you right now? Is it prices? Is it employment? Overwhelming majority said it's interest rates coming down. So do you believe that this is the case, that we're going to see several cuts by the end of the year?
Absolutely. Everything changed on Friday morning at 8:30 when those job numbers came down and those revisions came down, because right at that point, the consensus was September, there's maybe a 30% chance of a rate cut. Overwhelmingly, everyone sees that. Now, if you talk about 4, that means there's going to be at least 150 basis point cut. That starts to add a sense of urgency. That really tells you, by the way, if the Fed has to do that, that will really be so damning for Jay Powell, because his position, anytime they have to do more than 25 basis points, it means that they're behind, right? It will sort of cement the notion that, yeah, Jay Powell was late yet again. And to your point, why are there so many people care? This is what makes me so angry with the Federal Reserve. They always look at us as a whole nation. Small businesses, we have to refinance under these higher rates this year. Many can't do it. They can't make payroll, so you have small businesses that are hurting. You have individuals that are hurting. We just got a couple days ago from the New York Fed delinquency rates. All of them are spiking. So it's one of these things that Main Street America needs. And now you're seeing more evidence in the labor market, which is one of their key jobs, of course, for the Federal Reserve.
That is going to make things take off like a rocket, if that prediction is true. But J.P. Morgan, are they materially assisting in stabilizing our economy for our national security to make up for some of the bad acts? I don't know. We shall see. Speaking of bad acts, right here, Tish for Tat. New York Post put this up. How you doing, Jerry? Nice to see you. We're talking 40,000 foot view. All the people that are in trouble, we're getting in to talk about these fugitives from Texas. Okay, we don't even know what is cooking with Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg. We know a big long cast of characters, and all of them are under a lot of pressure. She subpoenaed over her fraud case against Trump. Deprivation of rights under the color of law. Grand juries target her and Senator Adam Schiff for mortgage mischief. So, yeah. Here's Pam Bondi. Let me see if that's what she's talking about. I'm not sure about this clip. And, I do get messages about the volume. And remember, folks, I'm an old man with a cell phone. Up in the mountains, okay? I'm a one-man band by myself. I get my videos from many sources: Telegram, Truth Social, Twitter, on and on, okay? YouTube. I can't control what every device people are listening on. My advice is to go to Walmart. They have 99-cent earbuds if you really want to save money. But you can upgrade to something a little bit more at Dollar Tree for $1.50 or $25, and they work really good. They're even better than the 99-cent Walmart one. Earbuds is my suggestion. I don't have a technical capability to make every audio the exact same sound level as the rest of what's going on, particularly when I'm speaking or when I have my microphone on or off. So anyway, and speaking of me being a one-man band, I have a link in the description if anybody wants to help the program out, help the channel out. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. I want to thank Wayne and Mike and Bev for helping out this week. I appreciate it. Be part of the coffee crowd. Okay, I would say coffee clan. We used to call ourselves a clan because we're Irish, and now you can't use that term because it has bad connotations. My dad used to say, "I'm bringing the whole tribe over." When he was talking to friends and family, when he was bringing the whole family, he referred to us as a tribe. I can't do that now. So I have to think it. So I came up with Coffee Crowd. But a link in the description if anybody wants to help out. It is greatly appreciated. Let me see what Pam Bondi's talking about. Let's see.
Washington, what do you know, David?
Well, hi, Dana. Two well-placed sources familiar with the probe tell Fox News that New York Attorney General Letitia James is under investigation by the...
Yeah, this is the part about deprivation of rights. And remember, I put the statute up on the screen verbatim, and you can be imprisoned for up to 10 years.
The DOJ here in Washington. We're told that Attorney General Pam Bondi signed off on the probe. Subpoenas were sent to James's office, and there is a grand jury investigation underway in the New York State Capitol of Albany. The specific investigation, my colleague Jake Gibson, Ashley Oliver, and myself are being told involves deprivation of rights, which in plain language means someone in a position of legal authority violating someone else's constitutional or legal rights. Those sources tell Fox News the DOJ is going after James because she took then former President Donald Trump to court, quote, simply because she didn't like him and campaigned on getting him. DOJ, led by Bondi, believes she violated his First Amendment rights dealing with free speech. James has said before she believed Trump inflated his net worth to get good deals on loans from lenders and other financial benefits. Ms. James won in a court judgment of over $450 million against the Trump Organization. Trump is appealing, and it's pending. The entire scope of the grand jury probe in Albany, Dana, is unclear. Grand juries are secretive, but we've learned from these well-placed sources it stems from a recent strike force set up inside the Justice Department to investigate an alleged plot to tie Trump to Russia in 2016. Sources say that strike force has expanded to other topics. Now, to recap, the Justice Department has initiated grand jury proceedings in Albany, New York, against the Empire State Attorney General Letitia James. But remember, this is important. A grand jury simply decides if there's enough evidence to indict. To be clear, we are told this is very early in the process, and no one, as I speak to you right now, is facing any charges at this time. Fox News reached out to Attorney General James's office multiple times, but we've yet to hear back.
Well, who knows? With the past investigations that are ongoing with Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, and the Durham investigations and subpoenas, in sealed indictments, who knows? Who knows when things might get hot? Who knows? I know if I were a lefty, I would be worried. Worried. What is this one about? Let me see. Coralopoulos. Let's see what this is. Pennsylvania. Somebody stirring up trouble in Pennsylvania?
Hit and run investigation is underway involving immigration and customs enforcement. This video here shows the moment a pedestrian was hit right at the intersection of 4th Avenue and Main Street near a Citgo gas station. Of course, we paused the video right before that impact. The suspect, we learned, took off and was later arrested in Ambridge, Beaver County. Police say the driver was an undocumented immigrant. He is now being held by police until ICE officers arrive.
Undocumented immigrant. You know, maybe they ought to crack down on these idiots and make them say just what it is. An illegal alien. Okay, quit playing around with those words. Let's see what we have here. Let's see another post from Mr. T. What do we have? We're having a news conference tomorrow in the White House. I'm going to make our capital safer and more beautiful than it ever was before. The homeless have to move out immediately. We're going to give you a place to stay, but far from the Capitol. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong. I had a thumbnail that said, put them all in jail where they belong. Remember that? It's all going to happen very fast, just like the border. We went from millions pouring in to zero in the past few months. This will be easier. Be prepared. There will be no more Mr. Nice Guy. We want our capital back. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that leads back to our thumbnail, which is a crackdown. A crackdown. Trump also posted this. UK citizens stand with Trump. This is amazing to see. And this was pretty fun to watch after seeing that mouthy, aggressive migrant get tased. Ha ha ha.
and we want you to succeed. Forget about the people in London, forget about the establishment, forget about the detractors in the fake news media. The real people out there in the United Kingdom, we love you, Mr. President!
Yeah, all these lefty, nattering nabobs of negativity. What do you got to say about that? What do you got to say about that? Let me see what this one is. And what they? Oh yeah, I might play this at the end. I might play this one at the end. So anyway, I was saying that the media is changing. The media is changing. Here is CNN. Is it CNN? With Toad Frog Pritzker. No, it's NBC. With Toad Frog Pritzker asking about his redistricting BS. Remember, they have to come get their paychecks. No direct deposits. Beto O'Rourke got smacked down by a judge. He can't give them money. He could be bribing them. They can't get money from campaign funds, and they're being fined $500 a day. And when they come back to Texas, if they're caught, they will be detained. So it's just snowballing for them.
Every major group that grades the fairness of congressional maps gives your state an F. Common Cause, a nonpartisan government watchdog, even says your map, and I'm going to quote, represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting. And I guess the question is, you talk about preserving democracy. How do you preserve democracy if you're using the same tactics that you've criticized Texas Republicans for?
But as I say, what they're talking about is a distraction. The reality is that the violation of people's voting rights is what Texas is attempting to do. That's what's wrong with their efforts right now. And the fact that the President of the United States knows it and nevertheless is asking them to do it. That is what's wrong with what we're seeing right now. Democracy is at
just cheap, canned comments, and your districting map is a joke. And you tried to play it off like a joke, saying that we had a 5th grade class draw the district map up. Ha, 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 ha. But that's what it looks like. And you're getting called out. Clandestine. I got this because he's saying what a lot of us are thinking. Remember, folks, we're dealing with the deprivation of rights under the color of law with the J6 committee, with the Pelosi and her daughter setting up grandmas and children and everyday people, over 1,000 whose lives were destroyed with false accusations, backed up by crooked judges and crooked prosecutors and crooked FBI guys. On down the line we go. We're dealing with mass criminality. That's why a lot of us are excited about the D.C. takeover. That's why a lot of us are excited about coming to a conclusion of this war in Ukraine and frank dialogue with Russia, where they disclosed to Trump in Helsinki that FBI agents left Russia with $300 million for the Clinton campaign. That was all played out during the press conference in Helsinki. The money going in and out of Ukraine, out of USAID, out of everything you can think of. These people are damn thieves and they're evil. And it's bubbling up to the surface where people can't deny it. So, yeah, we're excited. And if something major doesn't happen right away or this weekend or stuff, I know it's coming, okay? Clandestine says, flashback to Wednesday. Trump said he is going to take federal control of D.C. to stop the crime. That includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly. Then today, Trump said he is about to secure D.C. very fast, just like he secured the border. Trump is preparing for something big. This comes as he is about to meet with Putin in Alaska on Friday, and as grand juries are convening in the grand conspiracy case against Obama and his cabal of deep state actors. I think there's much more to this than just the crime rates in D.C. I think Trump is increasing security in D.C. because something big. Oh, I thought that was. Where's the rest of it? Something big is about to go down, is basically what he said. Where is the rest of it? Let's see. Oh, that's not. Wait a second. Well, that's basically what he's saying. Something big's about to go down. That's what we've all been saying. That's Maria Bartiromo. Well, oh, my screen won't work. Come on. Let me get rid of that and that, because something big's about to go down. What could I say? That's it. Let me see if this is it. How do these things get scrambled up in my studio? Anyway, we're all linking the actions that are being done by Trump with something big going down. And here is Posobiec and Clandestine. There will be a huge push to derail Trump, the Trump-Putin peace summit. Look for provocations in the media and on the ground. Billions of dollars are at stake. The likelihood of an irregular incident is high. Head on a swivel, folks. Can you say false and then flag? Yeah. Trump just confirmed Putin is coming onto U.S. soil for a meeting. Shouldn't the Dems and mainstream media be freaking out or calling him a Russian asset or throwing a fit or something? It feels too quiet. Yeah, they're both under the suspicion of something very nefarious happening. Here's Beto O'Dork. Beto the dork, the dirt eater. The dirt-eating liberal, hell yeah, we'll take your AR-15s. Hell yeah, we'll tear down that wall. Who the hell would want this guy in any office? Here he comes out and says, F the rules.
We're not going to let him stop us. Are you with me on that? Ándale. It also means, as Mark was saying earlier, we don't await the punch thrown by these would-be fascists to land. We punch first, and we punch harder. We want California and New Jersey and Illinois and Maryland and every other state where the Democrats hold the governor's mansion, the assembly, and the state senate to redraw their congressional districts now, not wait for Texas to move first, to maximize Democratic Party advantage. Listen, you may say to yourself, well, those aren't the rules. There are no refs in this game. Fuck the rules. We are going to win whatever it takes. We're going to take this to them in every way that we can.
Well, we got news for you, jerk. You have already maxed out. You've already maxed out your flipping cheating. You can only jerry-rig so much. You've already maximized it in every damn state. And the jig is up. Let me see what this one is. The jig is up, and you're out of cards. All of you. Let's see what this is.
An 8-mile.
Oh. Look at these idiots. They do an 8-mile long standing for immigrants. You know, how much you want to bet 90% of these people have been on the government payroll. And they've never had responsibility. They don't live in reality. And look at the demographic. the demographic, what kind of people you're looking at. But they're going to stand with migrants over their own countrymen.
Human chain stretched down High Street from Worthington to downtown Columbus today. A show of solidarity and peace connecting people of all ages and all backgrounds. Thanks for being with us this evening for NBC4 at 6.
Organizers say this demonstration
Doesn't look like all ages and all backgrounds to me. It looks like a bunch of dried up old white people, liberal whites. That's what it looks like to me.
Today, not a stand against any one issue, but welcomed anyone who feels isolated by our government's actions. Honked and people cheered as they passed by. Over an 8-mile stretch, the demonstrators put down their signs and held hands for a moment of silence at 3 o'clock this afternoon. One of the organizers, Maxine Irvin, says the Trump administration's actions on immigration are a major reason for the protest, but everyone involved has a different reason for showing up.
Everyone has different reasons why they are unhappy. We're just all out here together to show our dissatisfaction and to join together and hold hands to make a statement that we see what's going on and we want change.
Our crew out there today did not see any counter-protesters along High Street this afternoon. That peaceful assembly was not part of a nationwide effort and was locally organized.
They started it off with that cardboard sign, impeach Trump, and they ended it with that. So that's a biased little local news trash bale organization. What's this guy talking about? Let's see. So they're the kind of people that is not going to get through their skulls what's going on. Okay, when Letitia James gets arrested, when all these creepos we've been talking about gets arrested. Here's a guy talking about Letitia James. She probably regrets how she went after Trump.
This instance, it's like waiting for me to play in the WNBA. I mean, it's probably not happening in our lifetime. So, look, I think there's a lot to look at. And I would just say this, Griff, you know, the same recklessness in terms of her ethics that has her announcing, I'm going to target the man and find a crime or find a basis for liability, probably means that there could be some internal communications that get subpoenaed that are devastating in terms of her intentions and her desire to deprive President Trump of office and deprive his voters of their civil rights. So I think that's the game here. Use the grand jury to get subpoenas out, get those communications, find out if she buried some really horrific communications about targeting, but also even exculpatory information that she should have turned over during the civil case. Either one is kind of a win for the administration.
Yeah, Jim, James's attorney responded yesterday saying this, weaponizing the Department of Justice to try to punish an elected official for doing her job in an attack on the rule of law and a dangerous escalation by this administration. That's what she says. But again, so for our viewers, this is a situation of deprivation of rights. As I tried to explain, when a figure of legal authority, in this case, that's Letitia James, deprives a citizen, who in this case is Donald Trump, of his constitutional and legal rights. Do you believe that the bar has been met for deprivation of rights here?
I think it's early to know for sure. I mean, and that's really what that investigative process is all about. Find out what the back channel communications are, find out what her minions would say in terms of her intentions. Look, the starting point in terms of you showing those clips, that's kind of the beginning of the opening statement if this case goes to trial someday. Like, you have motivation to deprive President Trump of office, which is a civil right. It's also, you might define it in terms of civil rights of voters for Donald Trump. So it might be broader than that. But there's a couple of sections of the U.S. Code. I think it's 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242, which just adds color of law. Those are the sections that are in play here. And again, I don't prejudge that it's going to lead to a prosecution, but I think the investigative process is going to be fascinating behind the scenes to see what that office turns over to the and what the government makes of it.
Great insight, former DOJ prosecutor Jim Trusty.
One thing, a lot of things you pointed out. One of them was that they're going to get into her communications. They're going to do a subpoena ducis tecum. A subpoena ducis tecum, which means give me the papers, means electronic communications, letters, memos, all their DMs. And that's going to lead them to find a lot of evidence. And it ain't going to stop at Letitia James, I can tell you that. So, anyway, folks, the myriad of crimes we're dealing with, the Mar-a-Lago raid, the January 6th setup, the stolen election, the nursing homes and the pathogens, the money laundering, all these egregious crimes that have been committed. It's got to come to a head at some point. But anyway, I'm going to play this little video. And what do I always say? I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow. But if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. And also, please remember to give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel to get around. And I hope you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
Well, Laura, make it make sense. You'll never make this make sense. The most armed populace on the face of the planet came to overthrow
the government with no weapons.
The largest military-industrial complex that ever existed. And they came without their rifles? Where are the rifles? You mean to tell me we came in the midst of children, and we came with grandmothers, and we came with plastic flagpoles and megaphones to overthrow the largest military-industrial complex on the planet? Give me a break.